Welcome into Rattler Up with Coach Walsh, live from the San Marcos High School Rattler broadcast studio. This is what you've got to watch usually on Monday nights, a special Wednesday night edition, and it's where you keep track of all things Rattler Nation. I'm your host, CJ Odom. With me as always, San Marcos Athletic Director and Head Football Coach John Walsh. Coach, welcome into Rattler Up.
Good to be here.
All right, a special Wednesday night edition. I kind of like this, the excitement of a Friday night game, a lot closer in our viewpoint at this point.
Absolutely.
All right, well, you excited for playoff week?
Yes, we are. We are.
We're going to cover that in spades. This week, we look back at the final regular season game where the Rattlers headed down to San Antonio to take on the East Central Hornets with a playoff berth on the line. Of course, we also get to look ahead to a bi-district playoff matchup in 2 days at the Dub Ferris Athletic Complex in San Antonio against Brandeis. And we will peel back the curtain just a little bit as we look behind the scenes at the incredible work our student technical directors do here in the Rattler Broadcast Studio to help create this show and so much more. Now, Coach, you see each week the work that our producer Josh, along with the teacher Jack Moore, and these students do to put Rattler Up on each week. You've seen in the school and on the Jumbotron some of these things. It's going to be great to get to see what they do. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. One, the facility we have. I've been impressed with this place since I got here. And then just to watch our students get to produce something like this, and then a lot more that's out there for us. So I'm excited for you to showcase it tonight.
All right, and like I said, it's kind of cool. We're in season 2 of Rattler Up, and you've seen things develop, better graphics. We've got our picture-in-picture. We're watching highlights. Those ideas are kids. Those are kids putting things together. Yeah. It's been great to watch that happen, and I hope I just don't break anything. They're giving me a camera tonight, Coach. I don't know what the thought process was there.
It's really awesome. I've been in real news studios, and this is the way Mr. Moore and his boys do our podcast. It's top notch.
We're excited about that. So we'll have that and more. But obviously, we're going to get started by going back to this past Friday night in San Antonio as the Rattlers battled East Central in the regular season finale. In the conclusion of one of the most turbulent regular seasons ever faced by a Rattler squad, the team found themselves in San Antonio needing a win to make the playoffs. Now, tough circumstances for sure, but then another wrinkle is added. Starting quarterback Isaiah De Leon is out for the game sick, so the team turns to junior Cutter Gage Webb to lead the offense. Now, these Rattlers seem to be built for tough circumstances, right, Coach. However, a close game hinges on the final performance of both teams in the final 5 minutes of the game. The Rattlers punt to the Hornets down 16-13 with the hope that the defense could hold and get the ball back for the Rattlers to make one last stand. Defense was up to the challenge, forcing an East Central punt, and the good guys get the ball back with one last chance to take the W. And on a third down play, the Rattlers draw up the old double reverse pass. Quarterback Webb would actually tell the San Marcos Daily Record, quote, "I just told the O-line to give me some time," end quote. And they would do just that. Running back Jaden Brown would take the pass into the end zone. And following an interception from senior linebacker Michael Garza to seal it, the Rattlers would come away with a 20-16 victory, and a second consecutive playoff berth is captured. Coach, what an exciting game. What an amazing atmosphere. What was it like from your vantage point?
Yeah, so, we've told them the story all year long, just kind of how the schedule would break out, even before all the UIL drama came out. We told them, that Schertz Clements game and that East Central game it was the opener for district, and it was the closer for district. We knew there were going to be big games for us, and how that game went Friday was, just the ups and downs, like you said, the ebbs and flows is kind of how the whole season's gone. Where you have aspirations to get in the playoffs. You're told you can't be in the playoffs. You're told you can be in the playoffs. Now you can be in the playoffs, and that game just kind of tells the story. So. I think our kids were built for it, and they knew from the beginning what the plan was, and just watching the game unfold, I really felt like our kids were going to come through in the end. And talking about that last play, it's called Red Left Longhorn, and it's called Longhorn because we stole it from the Cedar Hill Longhorns way back when in 2008, and then but it's also Cutter's right. The long in Longhorn tells those linemen, you got to block a long time. A lot's happening.
Got to have time.
Yeah, because the ball starts in Cutter's hands, goes to JB's hands, goes to someone else's hands, back to Cutter's hands, and somehow supposed to end up in JB's hands. So kudos to everybody for executing that play. And I think we're going to have it for us later, but it was a great exexecution.
Yeah, we're going to get a chance to look at that play. If you missed it, you're going to love seeing that. We'll have that in just a moment. But talk to us about, you talk about there's some changes. Obviously, we're in the playoffs. We're not in the playoffs, and we know what's going on there. But as a result of that, talk about Marvin Nash 2 weeks ago, Curtis Kleiber this past week against East Central, stepping up to take the play calling, to take the lead on the sidelines. Just what an amazing job those two gentlemen. Tell the folks people may underappreciate what a big deal that is to just, yep, you got to run the show now,
Right.
and then talk about the job those two men did.
Yeah, so being in this business for 28 years, you build relationships, you build a network. So, I knew when that ruling came through that we had staff in place to get the job done. Coach Clyber and Coach Nash both have been in big battles with me and in deep into the playoffs. So this was nothing new for them, just in a different role. And you
Right.
can say, well, I've been there, done that, until you actually, Coach Clyber's actually won a state championship as a DC at a different school. And then he and I have coached in the state championship game together. Coach Nash and I have coached in the state championship game together. So they've been through the fire, but it is when you're live and all of a sudden you got to do it now. Can you deliver? And both those guys have delivered. They're great decision makers. They're great strategists, and I know our kids trust. Our program's got a trust factor now. It doesn't matter. And not one person, not one player, not one coach is bigger than the program, and I think that just proved to be true last Friday night.
Right. And in conversations I've had with some players just off air and in the school the last couple of weeks, you're absolutely right about the trust factor.
Right.
There was never a blink.
No.
Oh, we get behind Nash? Let's get behind Nash. We got this. Oh, we're getting behind Clyber this week? We get behind Clyber. And that speaks to the character of those two men, the trust factor, like you said, that the program has developed, and it's just incredible that they can step in and make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Extremely proud of everybody.
So talk about the big storyline kind of going in was everything's on the line. We talk about these turbulent times, and then we lose the starting quarterback.
Right.
For a lot of teams, that's, do what you can, but you're kind of done. You lose starting quarterback. Not so for the Rattlers. Tell me, when did you first know you would not have Isaiah for this game Friday night?
Probably midweek. He had a turf toe, which is a big thing, and we really felt like we could take care of East Central. You want your starting quarterback, but
Right.
and I'll get to Cutter here in a minute. But then he got the flu, and I had the flu last week as well. So now I'm old and I can't handle it like Isaiah can, but there's no way I could have played a game on Friday night.
Right.
And so the combination of the turf toe, Isaiah was ready if he needed to go to battle, but Cutter's a coach's kid, and I've always said don't bet against a quarterback that's a coach's kid, and
Right.
He's just got savvy. He knows the offense. He knows how to lead a huddle, and he leads when you play shortstop. On the diamond and on the baseball field, it's kind of like being a quarterback on a football
Right.
field. So a lot translates, and I think, again, I said it just a second ago, not one person's bigger than the program, and there were a lot of missing pieces, and the kids just stood up, and Cutter did a great job.
Well, and again, team says, all right, let's get behind Webb and let's do this then.
Absolutely.
No blinking. And you talk, again, two sports star, baseball, football. We've always known that we talk sports IQ a lot of times, right?
Yes.
It's a kind of popular sports term, but it really does mean something. Webb's baseball IQ, second to none. He understands every play, every pitch. If this is happening, then this is going to happen. And he demonstrated Friday night he's got that same football IQ.
Yeah, he's got a good football IQ. He's always sending me stuff on the side through Twitter and suggestions of what to add for the week. So, yeah, he's got it.
Well, that was fantastic. Well, what was Saturday film and practice like for this team? A lot of people were curious, when do you, so you win Friday, you want to celebrate. How soon do you know, okay, that means we've got Brandeis Friday
Right.
at 7:30?
So pretty quick, you do all your negotiations the week before.
Okay.
Just like this week, we know, Dripping Springs and Manor play. So we know whatever team wins or loses what we're doing. We don't tell the kids anything, but they know Friday night. As soon as that game's over, they know what the task at hand is and where we're going to play and how we're going to play. And then, but as far as our Saturday and Sunday doesn't change. Everything's right on point. You change venues and you change opponents, but you don't change your routine.
Right, and we're going to talk a little bit about that coming up. But right now, we want to welcome in someone that played a key role in that big East Central victory. And so joining us now is our Rattler of the Week, junior running back Jaden Brown. Jaden, congratulations on being Rattler of the Week, and welcome into Rattler Up. We'll get you that hand mic there. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, well, Jaden, first we want to take a look at, we have the incredible play that everybody's been talking about. Coach, you said, what's the name in the huddle for that?
Red left Longhorn.
Red left Longhorn, all right. So we want to take a look at that. And so this is going to come up on the screen here in just a minute, Jaden. We want you to just take us through it. It'll loop through a couple of times. And just, here we go. This is our play of the week. So talk to us about what we're seeing here. Walk us through it.
Let me interrupt and start and we'll play the
It'll
play
play
once.
a few times.
So as a junior, we're playing New Braunfels last year at New Braunfels. and we're in a battle, back and forth scores, and we call this play, and the outside receiver doesn't run the route he's supposed to run, and JB's doing the exact thing. He hands the ball off, goes up the numbers, and Isaiah throws a good ball, but it knocks this guy out. I mean, he gets hit helmet to helmet, and he's seeing stars.
I replay it every time I hear this play.
And he's seeing stars, and I think he missed a game or two after that, didn't you, or just one game?
Yeah, I think it was one game.
Just one game. So so here we are a year later in a big moment, week 10, and I'll let JB kind of take it from here.
Well, as you can see, I'm lined up on the right, but I knew this play was going to work in the beginning when I heard it because this team was blitzing all game, and they wasn't paying attention to nothing. And I trust Tony going across the middle. He's always telling me every practice, I got you, JB, I got you, JB. I won't let that play happen again.
And that's a key component because Tony gets doubled all the time. So as Tony's running that deep post, he's taking everybody with him.
Right, and you see East Central completely bid on it.
Absolutely.
They commit completely to their left side of the field.
So as I'm going, I catch it, I'm running, I'm looking, I pitch it to Fabian pitch it back. I see everybody running towards Tony, and I'm like, okay, yeah, there's got to be touchdown.
When the ball's in the air, you see a gap between you and any black and gold jersey.
That's touchdown all day.
You know we're good to go, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, that is the play of the week, the red
left Longhorn.
Red left Longhorn. I'm going to make sure I don't forget that one because it was epic, and it scored a victory for the Rattlers against East Central. Well, Jaden, again, we took a look at that, but how is it? We talked on this team. We've been talking all season on Rattler Up about obstacles, adversity. It has been a tough season on the field, off the field, you name it. How is it that this team continues to answer the call and take on such problems and issues so well each time?
Well, it always was like we're like family. It's more than football to us. We love each other so much, so we hold each other accountable. So we always getting on each other in practice, trying to focus up, trying to get through practice. We have little mistakes, but we always seem to hold on. So, and then it leads on to game day. So in the game day, when we're getting down, everybody just holding each other accountable. We're trying to get through this. Couple flags, we get through it. We're pushing forward, and then victory.
That's happened a lot on Friday nights. You've never let mistakes pull you down. You've been down in most games and found a way to come back. That's just that belief in one another. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell us, what part of practice do you think helps you the most on Friday nights? You've got this structure in place. I love hearing different players' concepts of what practice is like, getting you ready for Friday night. Most of our viewers watch the Friday night game, but I love taking them behind the scenes a little bit to talk about Monday through Thursday. Talk to us about what you feel is the best about the way practice gets you ready for the game.
Practice getting ready for the game, it's like towards the end of practice where it's like 14 period, 15 period, where everybody's tired and exhausted. You know, you got 4 quarters in the game. Everybody's good, 100% in the first quarter. You about 50, 70 in the second quarter. Halftime, you come back. You probably 40, 50 the way you playing, how hard you playing. So practice just like that. So in the game, you got to push through all that, and in practice, you got to push through all that, even though you're tired, even though you got a little injury. So in the game, you got to carry that on, and you got to fight through all the way.
And you talk about that. It's interesting you say that because that means that play that we just watched, the play of the week, you're on low battery with a minute and change left in the game. How do all of you just raise it? There's got to be an adrenaline piece. You mentioned you hear the play call come into the huddle. You're excited.
Yes.
You said this is going to work.
This got to work.
Tell us about that. How do you get that energy up in those final moments?
And at the end, we just got to, like I said, lift each other up. So we knew we had a minute and 30-something seconds left, so this got to be as a winner or go home. So everybody just cheering each other on, trying to see how long we got. And everybody blocking, O-line's blocking as long as they can. When we get the playoff, I see the ball in there, and it's go time.
So knowing this guy, I've called plays for this guy now for two years, and at the end of a game or just in a big moment, a conversion down, he wants the ball. So there's certain plays that he hears, he knows, all right, this is me. I can do this for our team here. So, I wasn't there, but I can only imagine when he heard Red Left Longhorn, he had the confidence that he was going to finish this deal.
I'm about to score a touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, Jaden, what else are you involved with at San Marcos High School?
The basketball team. I'm also in the basketball team, varsity basketball.
And so this is kind of an odd place where you want to get started in basketball, but you hope that it's delayed as long as possible.
Yeah. I want to stay out.
We don't want to do basketball for a while.
I want
Right,
to stay
exactly.
in football as long as I can.
Awesome. Well, Jaden, we want to congratulate you on being the Rattler of the Week, and I always give students an opportunity to get some shout-outs in. So you got a live mic and a television camera, so who you got to send some shout-outs to?
Shout out my boy Tony and Ori.
All right, well, great. Well, Jaden, thanks again for being on. It was an exciting week and an exciting game, and because of that, we get more football this Friday night in San Antonio against the Brandeis Broncos, which we'll talk a little bit later in the show. But when we return from break, we're going to look behind the scenes as we introduce you to the student tech directors that make this show run. All that and more when we return. Keep it here on Rattler Up. Welcome back to Rattler Up Live from the San Marcos High School Rattler Broadcast Studio. We are here usually on Monday nights at 6 o'clock. This week, a special Wednesday night edition of Rattler Up. But you can watch us live or catch all the archive shows on the VYPE YouTube channel. Just search VYPE, VYPE on YouTube, and watch any episode from any season of Rattler Up. Now, if you've been watching this season of Rattler Up, you know that we thank a special group of students and adults each week. They are our student technical directors that are part of the Digital Communication CTE program of study at San Marcos High School. So they bring you this show, they bring you content on the Jumbotron during football games, and so much more. And we thought it would be great. We interview students here in the studio all the time. You've talked about the facility, but people may not have been able to see it. So we're going to try something different. We're actually going to, they've trusted me with a camera, first of all.
I'm excited
I don't know
about
what they were thinking on that. If anything breaks, we're going to have to take it up with the CT coordinator
drop it.
to buy something else. So I am now going to take this camera, and we're going to let you go in behind the scenes. And so I don't know when the camera will pick up, but we're going to see if this works. So, Coach, we are in the Rattler control room. We are in the studio right now, and I'm going to start walking around here, and I think we'll pick us up here in just a moment. It's either Coach Walsh or... All right, we are live on the camera, Coach Walsh. There's it. So those of you, question number one, it is not a brick wall. We have not installed a brick wall behind us. It is a green screen. These are our cameras that we look into, and we'll take you into the control room here in just a moment. But we want to talk with these student technical directors here in the San Marcos High School Rattler Broadcast Studio. And so here they are. This is the site where the magic happens. Coach Walsh, this is some incredible machinery.
High tech. We are high tech.
I love what you said, the idea of that we have, you've been in news studios, and you're saying this is the setup you see, correct?
This is it. This is it.
All right, well, guys, I know this is going to be awkward. You're producing a show, and I'm going to talk to you. And so I'm going to let you do a little bit here while I start with your teacher, Mr. Jack Moore. Mr. Moore, thank you for welcoming us into this control studio. What can you tell the folks a little bit about just how this works? How do the students get involved with this, and what makes this go?
Well, they start with an interest in audiovisual, and they start with a class called Principles of Art and Audiovisual Technology and Communication. And then they find out with all the bells and whistles that the sky's the limit. The creativity is off the charts. No one else that I know of has this. I think there's 2 other high schools in the state of Texas that has a setup like this, and it was quite a real honor to be involved with it. And they start producing and directing, and they start with cameras and media, and a lot of them come to me with a computer background. So they're extremely strong, because for every piece of hardware you see in here, there's a software package that accompanies it, and they are parallel systems that work together.
So we're just getting a little feed here to show the gentleman what everybody's doing back here. You see their view into the studio where Coach Walsh and I are. So I'm back here at the back end. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell us what grade you're in, and a little bit about what you do during the production of a Rattler Up.
Okay, well, I'm Caden Foster. I'm a senior at San Marcos High School, and I run the media player, which pops up all the green screen background and all the media you see with the final score graphics and the coming up next player of the week.
All right.
I also work on the Jumbotron.
Awesome. So we'll slide back a little bit more. Same thing. Why don't you introduce yourself and let us know what you do to make this show happen?
I'm Conley Cunningham. I'm managing the mics right now, and the volume and all that, making sure what you hear is good volume. Also help with the football game, sometimes cameras, sometimes switching, all that.
All right. And we slide back just a little bit more here to another gentleman. So same thing. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you do here.
Hi, I'm Hunter. So I manage all of your main video feeds, and so what you actually see. So up here, we basically have all of our different inputs that we're currently using right now, and I manage what you see on your end of things long term, and then I also we have our computer, which we use for all of our main video inputs. So I manage all of our kind of video playing and our kind of what you see side of things for the most part. I also, just like all of them, help with the football games. I run a remote camera down on the field itself. So I'm down there with the players getting those close-up shots of the touchdown and the huddles and all that stuff. And yeah, that's my general responsibilities.
All right, well, I can already tell you guys I'm impressed because just holding this camera still is a job. I'm sure that while it's great to listen and see what these kids do, the quality of the show is taking a nosedive as soon as I was given a camera. I've got the shaky old man thing going, but that's all right. We're going to triumph on past. Let me make one more loop through here. Tell us a little bit about what interested you in being a part of this program.
Well, one, I had theater with Mr. Moore for the last 3 years, so I didn't want to, when he left theater, I didn't want to leave working with Mr. Moore. And two, the ability to come in here every single day during class and not only just do this, but also have the ability to speak and do all these videos for the school district. It gives you a lot of opportunity to learn how to speak in front of people, and
Awesome.
It just makes it so much easier.
Same question here to you, Conley. Just kind of what interested you in coming and being a part of this?
So I was randomly put in this class, and I just kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the best way,
Yeah.
right?
No idea what it was, and I just started enjoying it.
All right. Do either of you have some, what are your interests? I'll come back to Hunter, too. What are your interests for after you do graduate? What are you planning on doing?
I plan on doing software development and maybe a bit of AV stuff, but mostly software.
Okay. Same question. What are you planning to do when you get out?
So I'm planning on going to college and majoring in political science and economics, but I'm also in the CTE program for the EMT class. So whenever I graduate, I'll have my EMTB certification. So I'll use that over the summer to make money to be able to pay off my college because that stuff's expensive.
All right. So I'm going to cut back this way. Again, the guys are probably cringing at the ability of the cameraman in this shot. But Hunter, what interested you in this, and what do you plan to do with it from here? I know that you plan on pursuing this as a career potentially, correct?
Yeah, so I probably first started getting into the audio video stuff is because as a middle schooler, I actually worked with Mr. Moore over here on our high school production of Les Mis that year. And so I met Moore, and he was like, hey, yeah, we also have this really cool audio video program that I think you should try it out. And so I tried it out, and so since then I've been a very active member of both our theater program here at the high school and our audio video program at the high school. I think on average I spend 2 to 3 hours a day in class in audio video classes, and anywhere from 1 to 2 hours of theater classes every day on average. So I'm a very heavy member of both of these programs, and I've just enjoyed it. And so after high school, I plan on going straight into the workforce and doing audio video systems installations. So what that is I will design, set up, and configure systems just like these, more of a perspective of I actually come in and build the servers, configure the software, hang the lights, set up all the hardware so that the users can use it. So I am the before the user side of things is what I would like to go into.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Coach Walsh, Tell us again about these guys. It's incredible work with these guys every week. Am I right?
Yeah, I have a hard time changing the light bulb in my house, and Hunter just gave me a headache. Yeah, so it's very, very impressive. These guys are awesome. They make our job real easy coming in here and putting on a show and make it a lot of fun.
All right, well, Mr. Moore, thank you so much for all that you do for our CT department here at San Marcos High School. And, gentlemen, thank you again for a terrific Rattler Up show each week. That's just one of many pieces of content that they make. But thank you guys for making Coach Walsh and I look pretty darn good on that screen each week. All right, well, I'm going to walk back in here. At some point, they'll cut back to a good camera, Coach. And if I can just make it to the desk, I can say I did not break it. All right, I'm going to set it down. And I think I have accomplished the primary goal, which was not to break something I could not afford to replace.
You did good.
And I did good. All right. Again, Coach, it's something to be said for San Marcos High School. I think that when you look at the theme for this year, don't doubt us. That is the athletic field. That is the fine arts department. Some of the things they're doing is incredible. The CT department, all these opportunities, our academics. Don't doubt us.
I just think
this is the epitome of that.
What you just showed right here is really a microcosm of this entire building. And if folks who are not familiar with this building and your programs are really missing out. And I think the word's getting out. I think the kids are. I know there's more students flowing through this building than there ever has been. And it's some pretty good magic going on in here.
Well, we've got some cool events. We appreciate you including us in the VYPE monthly magazine that came out. A little CT page there, goes to the website, allows people to see what those opportunities are. But I've got 2 kids in the district, and I am just excited to have them here and be a part of it because of the opportunities they get to have. So super excited to be able to take you guys behind the scenes of Rattler Up. And so we are going to transition back to some football because, again, because of our Friday night win at East Central, the game goes on. We get to continue with football, and we continue this Friday night as we head to the Dub Ferris Athletic Complex in San Antonio to take on the Brandeis Broncos in a bi-district playoff matchup. Again, the second consecutive playoff berth for the San Marcos Rattlers. Now, the Broncos won their district with an 8-2 overall record and a 7-1 district record. Coach, not a lot of flaws in this team. Solid offense, solid defense. We know in a season full of challenges, this will be the biggest one we've faced all year. So talk to us about what we know we're facing against these Broncos.
Yeah, so the unique thing about the playoffs is you're playing someone that you're not familiar with, and they're not familiar with you. So you're excited about getting the tape on and get to watching it. And I say this is a great matchup. When you get into playoffs, matchups are key. Now, one, player versus player is a big deal, but matchup, style of offense, style of defense, philosophy of programs plays into it. And we are a run stop and we are a run offense, and we feel like that wins championships. And when you turn the tape on for Brandeis, you see the same thing. You see them in similar formations. We ain't seen 2 tight end formations, 2 backs like we present people, and they present that to you. They play a sound base 3-4 defense. So it's going to be a unique matchup. I think we match up well, and I'm really excited to see what happens Friday night.
So as we talk matchups, we talked a little bit earlier about you don't change the routine. Right. So we talked about Saturday, and that's really when you got to get down to business. It was exciting. We're excited we beat East Central. But as you said, right away, you already knew. We win this game. We've got Brandeis waiting for us on the other end. So talk to us again. We have the chance to be here on a Wednesday night rather than a Monday night.
Right.
Typically, I'm asking you, how will the week go? We're most of the way through it. It's Wednesday night. We got 1 practice left. How's the week gone, and how are things looking right now?
You don't really enjoy the playoffs until they're over, really.
And look back.
You can win a regular season ball game and maybe enjoy it Saturday and Sunday and get ready for your next district opponent. But it's do or die. You go home if you lose. So Friday night, that work starts right now. There's not that little window of, hey, let's all talk about it and have, let's go eat some tacos and enjoy this. That doesn't happen.
Right.
You go to work right now. And you grind it out, and I think the guys have had a good week.
And I think we've talked before off air. There are some of those powerhouse teams that just blow through district, and obviously that's what you want to have happen. But sometimes the drawback to that is you haven't met adversity until that bi-district round. There's an advantage to the fact that we have faced so many 100%. Tough challenges all year long. Bi-district's just the next one for us. Am I right?
Yeah, through my experience, I've had the opportunity to play in a lot of big games and go deep in the playoffs. I've never done that off a 10-0 season, and I've been grateful every year that we weren't 10-0 because we had to face adversity. We have to face losses. You don't want your kids to be in a fourth quarter like they were Friday night in the playoffs in a do-or-die game and not sure if they can win it or not because they haven't done it yet. Our kids have done it.
Well, and it speaks volumes. I think the biggest thing to come out of tonight's show, and that was, I think, mentioned in the San Marcos Daily Record, to give them credit as well, is Jaden saying, as he hears that play call, we're about to score a touchdown.
Absolutely.
That's not arrogance. It's just confidence.
It's just
and
preparation.
It's preparation and knowing this is what we've prepared for.
Yep.
It has presented itself, and we're going to do this. And I think that's the key, not just for that particular play, but I think that attitude is what means we're going to be in this for 4 quarters.
Yeah, we're hard out now. I mean, we've been through it all. Our kids are resilient, and we're a tough one. We're a tough draw.
What would the what's the injury report looking like? So for going into this game,
so we're in pretty good shape. We got Decker is still out, but we've had Javian's come in and played well at corner. Isaiah's still got a little turf toe, but he's back. The flu bug hit us hard this week.
Wow.
I mean, we've had a lot missed practice, but they've prepared themselves for this moment. And I told the coaches and some of the players that I've seen around is last week A&M was missing like 30 players due to the flu on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll be glad we have it Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll be ready by Friday.
Right.
So I think this late practice is almost overrated. They're prepared. They're ready to play.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
So obviously we have to play our best ball this season, but is there a particular aspect of our game that you feel is key to just, if we've got to be 100% in this, and if we are, we ought to be able to ride that?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we match up. Our philosophies are similar and run the football. We have to be more effective than we were last Friday in running the football. And then I think we've played good run defense all year long. So I think we just got to continue to play good run defense. They got a big old quarterback that's a good dual threat. Got to contain him, and then, like I said, keep our defense fresh. They need about 38 snaps. And if they do that, if the offense stays on the field.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to that, and we're going to need all of Rattler Nation there on Friday night, be a part of cheering the boys to victory and on to the second round of the UIL State Playoff Tournament. Well, that's going to do it for this week's Rattler Up. We are so glad to talk football, to get ready for the playoffs. It was great to look behind the scenes at the great work of those student technical directors that are back there handling all the things you see on air every week. Coach, handling that camera was difficult, but these kids really make it look easy.
They do make it look easy.
They really do. Maybe get you on a camera next week?
I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it.
You're uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, I'm not touching it.
All right, well, before we go, we want to remind people again about the opportunities that they have to catch the Rattlers in action this week. Basketball season is here. We're ready to go. Games are going on in the Snake Pit. Boys basketball, they'll be participating in the Hayes tournament just up the road Friday and Saturday. Girls basketball will be here in the Snake Pit Friday night as they take on New Braunfels Canyon. Varsity begins at 6:30. You got soccer and wrestling a week or 2 weeks out, so it's really cranking up for our winter sports. But of course, the big one is this Friday night. It's at the Dub Ferris Athletic Complex in San Antonio. You go down I-35, west on 1604, go past 281, go past I-10, exit Bandera, and turn back, and you're there. Allow yourself a good hour and a half that time of day in San Antonio to get through the traffic just to make sure you don't miss anything. You want to be there for the fight song. You want to be there for the national anthem. You got to be there for every moment, for every play, for 4 quarters. And as always, if you need a note for work to leave early, Coach Walsh can sign that for you. So, again, Friday night, 7:30 kickoff. Rattlers take on the Broncos. Now, Coach, before we leave, we always want to talk a little bit Cowboys when we can. This Sunday, Cowboys-Packers, typically a marquee matchup. Not a problem this week. Not this version of the Packers.
We're on a roll. Dak's getting seasoned, and I think Aaron's time is fine. I think his bell's finally rung.
Yeah, Father Time has called for Aaron
him.
Rodgers. No, but when did the NFC East become so good? Are we going to have a struggle to win this division?
I'm telling you, Philadelphia's tough.
Yeah.
They're real good. Right now, they're quote unquote the best team in the league.
It looks like a late Christmas matchup
And
with the
Giants
Eagles. Could be
aren't
a division
bad.
game
I'm
at this
telling you,
point. Well, that's going to do it for this week's Rattler Up. As always, we want to thank VYPE and our producer, Josh. He's putting together this wonderful platform for us to showcase Rattler Nation. As we were able to show this week, teacher Jack Moore and our student technical directors behind the scene in the control room making all this run. Thank you to them. And thank you for all those that tune in each week or catch us in the archives on the VYPE YouTube. Well, that's going to do it for this week. So for Coach Walsh, I'm CJ Odom. Thanks for watching Rattler Up.